What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport and cards. I'm Dom with the Great Man Source and Dan, the Card Man. What's happening,
Back,
gentlemen?
How's it
finally.
going, boys? How are you?
Good to have
Always
you
Been
on.
good.
a long time
Better when
coming.
you're around.
Been a long time coming. Pretty excited. So yeah, keen to see what we've got in store.
We had the American State of the Union during the week, so we thought that it'd just be fitting to have the hobby State of the Union with us three clowns tonight. So
It'll probably still be better than what happened there, I think.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll be actually fleshing out things, and not that we can fix anything, just like the great man over there struggling to fix some stuff. So we could be in exactly the same boat as American politics. But anyway, great to have you back, mate, and great to see you.
Same to you, boys. Exciting.
Well, we're going to obviously keep it a bit like how we've had some of the roundtable discussions and podcasts in the past. But there is one question, and I remember, like we were saying it in the lead up to organising this. We've got Source has got a question he'll ask you at the end of the podcast to do with some cards. But my question is, because we've never actually asked you this, is why did you start Dan the Card Man and looking at hobby hanky panky?
I think I started the channel in July of 2021. I'm pretty sure we just went into lockdown again in Sydney. I'm pretty sure about that. I was just bored at home, had nothing to do, so I was like, oh, let's just make a channel and start showing off some of the cards that I've been picking up because there was, like I said, nothing really else to do. And then after a while, I just started noticing a lot of BS happening within the industry, and people talking about it didn't really give it any good insight or value. So I thought, you know what, let's just start, talking about these things that are happening, like the grading company issues. That was when they were all shut down. You had HGA come on board, and all these other companies trying to do stuff, and all these shady things going on. So I thought, let's just try and talk about this sort of stuff and bring some insight to people and try and help people, because there wasn't a whole lot of that out there. There was a lot of people making content, but it wasn't, tangible. They were just people talking crap, to be honest with you. There was nothing, really like analyzing the industry and challenging things. It was simply just people talking shit and not adding, any value, if I'm being honest.
That's fair enough. There you go. And
Yeah.
you've obviously developed that into one of the most popular hobby
11K
news.
subs. Is that what you're at now, Dan?
10, no, I'll hopefully hit 11K in a few days. So things picked up again in Jan and Feb. It was like really shit last year. Wasn't getting pushed by the algorithm or anything, but it's picked up in the last 2 months, which is good. We're like back into things. Things are getting good views. So yeah, hopefully hit 11K in a few days.
That's
Very
awesome. How
nice.
good's that? One of
Yeah.
the
Very
one of the
nice.
biggest hobby content creators that we've got, mate.
Well, it's nice, right? It's like I don't do it for that kind of thing, but it's nice if that makes sense. Like
It is nice.
I just want to help people, right? And people don't. I get this. I find this a lot with like my subs over in America, where they just don't comprehend that I do this as like a passion project. Like up until October last year, I had no sponsors, right? So all these other guys are taking money hand over fist talking about things, but I was literally just doing it because I wanted to help and call out crap and try and make the industry better. So people don't really appreciate that as much as what I think, but yeah, the views are a nice thing because it just means I'm getting access to more people and getting more opportunities to make the hobby better.
And you have
Just
sponsors
sell
now.
out, Dan. You should have just sold out, mate. Taken the
Well, I should
money
have sold
wherever
out
it
earlier.
come from, mate.
So
Whatnot, wherever, mate. Just take it. Just take the money and run, mate.
Ship My Cards is currently a sponsor and also Card Letter.
Oh, nice.
So I've had
There
other
you go.
companies reach out in the past and try and have conversations, but it just doesn't sit right with me. And obviously, like just the nature of my content, people aren't going to want to be associated with me anyway because they're all chicken shit.
Correct. Well,
People in this
you're
space,
definitely
like,
not going to get sponsored by major card companies because
No,
you're
no.
always challenging them and their.
But it's silly
their
though,
models.
right? I'd say the opposite of that. People have also talked about sponsors in general about, well, you can't talk negatively about them because they're paying you. Well, like it's all about accountability, right? I don't have a problem saying PSA shit and then going ahead and using PSA, right? Because I'd be an idiot to do that. People are just in this world are too absolute. Like they think you're against PSA and you have to be against them completely. And these companies at the same time, should be looking to empower people that want to give them insight and support them. Like they want to listen to. They should be listening to them, not just chucking them into you're the bad guys. We don't want anything to do with you.
Mate, the way you deal with the companies is the way that we deal with people just in general in society, mate. Everyone's wrapped in cotton wool. That's
Yeah.
straight up.
It's like a really good indicator of like society in general, to be honest. Like people
It's
get
just
their knickers in or
ridiculous.
not.
Yeah, you
Like
say to a business, this is no good, instead of taking on board and being like, you know what, this is a person that's in the hobby, or these people are in the hobby and they see it firsthand. We're not boots on the ground type of people. Literally, you're in your ivory tower
yeah,
pumping out ideas and making money. And I think they just look at it like we're making money anyway, so who cares?
yeah, they just look at it on face value.
Yeah.
It's stupid though because they're not thinking long term. Like I recorded a video for tomorrow talking about the fact that Topps is now removing the seal off boxes. They're testing it out in the UK. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. With the new Premier League
did.
logo for Actor.
Yeah, in the Fanatics store that they've got there.
If you buy online, before they ship it out to you, they're going to take the seal off the box. And I forgot my train of thought with where I was going there, but like that's Topps trying to do something, and people are challenging that. I forget what I was going to say. What were you saying just before that, Dom? I forget where I was going with that. Sorry.
In terms of like not listening to people in the hobby and
So they're listening, right? So they've taken things on board and they've been challenged, and they're like, okay, let's try and do something different. I had a conversation with the CEO of Fanatics Collectibles last week, and I raised a lot of things that are going on with them, and he seemed to listen. Now, people gave me shit for that, to the point that I was mentioning earlier, because they're like, well, Topps and Fanatics are the enemy. Why are you talking to them? They're not going to do anything. Why bother? Well, it's like, well, let's have a communication. Let's have open communication. Let's be honest. Let's build some trust. Let's raise some things in a like adult way and see what they do. And then if they listen and make things better, great. If they don't listen, so be it. No skin off my nose, right? Like, fuck them. But
I can't really
take the opportunity to talk about them, right?
We couldn't say much on this podcast because I can guarantee you unequivocally 1,000,000,000% that Ken Golden and Matty Allen would definitely not jump on this podcast if we invited them. Well, Ken Golden
the director of assets.
Ken Golden might. He emailed me the other day, actually.
He would not jump on this podcast.
It's good that you're getting the access, Dan, because I tell you what, they definitely wouldn't want to come on our show because we've ruffled a few feathers in the past and tagged people in things and even commented on their own posts on Instagram, and they don't seem to be too fond.
Ken Golden came on this podcast and we showed him.
If you emailed him, he would. He would.
Uncle Kenny McScrooge.
I think if you emailed him, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one.
But yeah, he saw my video that I put out. I thought he emailed just me, but that's why he jumped on that Dustin the Sports Card Dad video. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. I got interviewed after this whole Logan Paul thing. But he emailed like 4 or 5 people saying, hey, I'll come on. I'll talk to you about it.
Well, he had to go on his PR tour, really, to fix his image after making the comments.
What happened with the... But so it came through like 4 a.m. our time. Like I woke up, looked after my son for the day, and then replied to him and basically said, hey, if you want to do this, it's going to be very short and sharp. We're not going to do a live stream. These are the questions I'm going to ask. I'm going to leave it there. And then by the time he replied, he'd already done the interview with Dustin. So Dustin's interview went for like over an hour. They talked about other random shit. I think it needed to be a lot more short and sharp.
Yeah.
Question about the bidders, the comments he made, what kind of vetting was done on the card, who actually owns the fucking card, all that kind of stuff.
How come it just got switched over to a brand new label without getting regraded, which is what's supposed to happen, Dan?
Yep.
Well, we'll start there, boys. That's where we'll go. Let's get straight into it. So obviously that Logan Paul Illustrator sale with Scaramucci now throwing out money. Mr. Dinosaur Bones himself is come into the fold. He's going to try and collect everything.
He's already collected the Mona Lisa of Pokemon, apparently. But what are your thoughts on that, Dan? Like he's comparing something from one of the most sort of greatest minds that this world has ever seen, Leonardo da Vinci, a painting that has survived since 1528. I think it was first painted. It's survived wars. It's survived moving around, all this sort of stuff. It survived numerous arson attacks on the painting, and it's still a one of one. I mean, the Illustrator, there's many out there. I mean, as soon as the Logan Paul one sold, a Beckett 9 popped up, and apparently they're going to sell that one, and it's the best copy you ever see. Well, clearly not, because it's not a PSA 10 or a Beckett 10. So by the letter of the law of the hobby, if it ain't a 10, it ain't a 10. No one's going to sell it for less than the 10 value if it's got the 10 on there. It's just crazy
Well, just
talk
ignorance, right?
by Scaramucci.
It's just ignorance. I think he's just misinformed, and it's the marketing hype right behind it. He wants to launch a media platform off the back of it, and part of the reason why that card sold for what it did is because of Logan Paul himself, right? So it's the modern hobby in a nutshell. All these people with way too much money to spend that don't actually understand things, and just saying dumb shit. He
Here
looked
it
like
is.
he was off his face, to be honest, when he was doing.
It looked like he was on gear or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't on the gear, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the
but yeah,
treasure
like,
trove.
it's curious to see what he does, but it's I said in my video, like, finding out that it went to somebody doing that in the end is like disappointing, because it tarnishes the sale. It was the same thing with the Shine and Kevin O'Leary crap. They bought this fucking thing, they've paid too much for it, and they're launching a business off the back of it. It's not the same as if a collector bought it and put it in their PC. Like if it was some random guy you never heard of that wanted to pay $16 million for a card because he wanted to own that card because of what it means to the modern hobby, great. But the fact that you're buying it to then launch a business, it's like, well, your card's not worth $16 million. You've just paid $16 million in free, like for marketing. The best $16 million you'd ever spend. So, like, it's crazy to me. I think it's just ignorance and just typical of the modern hobbyist.
I'm trying to get on Logan Paul's Rip It website, but it's giving me a 403 forbidden.
Maybe they banned you, mate.
Well, and onto the back of that, you've got Logan Paul launching his Rip It.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's got enough money, Dan. He's now going to get a massive allocation of product from all of these companies, because they're looking at it as like, well, why wouldn't we give it to Logan Paul? It's going to help promote our brand. He's literally, known worldwide, and yeah,
It was all the sequence. It was all the sequence.
Grinds my gears, lads.
Well,
this
yeah, the
Rip
website
It
isn't working.
business.
That's interesting. That's interesting, Doma.
Oh, so it's working for you too.
No, it's
Yeah.
not, it's
Okay.
not,
I
it's
thought.
not. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was for me only.
What's interesting though with it though is that if you go search for it on Google, it says he's called it gamified collecting. The fact that he's used the word gamified, I think,
Yeah, I saw
going to come
that
back to
too.
bite him in the ass, to be honest.
Well, if it's anything like Liquid Marketplace, you're just being brought in another thing that people will forget about with their memory loss.
Like, I don't know who. Like, is it a breaking platform? Is that what it is?
Well, I don't know. Saucy, he's giving away a lot of shit.
I'm guessing that's what it is. I'm guessing it's some sort of breaking platform. That's what I'm thinking. Like, what else would you be calling it Rip It for? So yeah, unless it's to
Be curious to
rip
see how
off
it goes
people.
up against Fanatics Live, to be honest, because he's got a lot of money, but he doesn't have as much money as Michael Rubin. And Fanatics could put a chokehold on them if they wanted to in terms of getting product broken on that platform compared to Fanatics Live. Like, obviously with TCG space.
He could just go straight into with Bandai and Pokemon, and that's all he needs, man. Like, does
I'd
he
be
really need
shocked if
Fanatics?
I think you do long term.
Have you seen this post? I saw this the other day. So this was about a week ago. With his sign-ups. So every time he hits a milestone on the sign-ups.
Yeah, it's like giving away something, yeah.
Yeah. So
I signed
at
up.
the moment.
Go bot it.
Why not?
Bot sign-ups.
He's giving
Bot sign-ups.
away like
More
Mob
giveaways.
Retro. Here you go. I love how it's Logan's personal Blaine. Who cares, mate? Like, he touched it. Whoop-de-doo. Like, but yeah, he's just hitting all these benchmarks and then whatever. And then he's said the next giveaway is at 25,000 sign-ups. So
And his website crashed.
I was going to say, it's pretty hard to sign up when the...
He must have got the same people that did Probstein's website.
Snipe.
Can you imagine?
Shilstein.
Oh, fuck, that guy's still hiding. But yeah, like, I think this whole thing is bullshit. It's just weird. I don't think it's going to end well for people, and it's marketing 101. I mean, there's so many questions about that auction. Ken addressed them on the Dustin podcast, but the fact that you had both bidders in the room already, which
that was
uncommon.
sus. That's very sus.
And obviously, like, auction houses do their due diligence, right? They help vet buyers because they need to make sure they can spend the money, and if they do go ahead and spend it, they can actually pay for it. And auction houses work with these people to sort of make sure they're happy and want them to, be as close to it as possible so they can go ahead and bid, right? It's essentially how it works. You see all these, auction, documentaries and things like that. They're there whistle and dining them or whining and dining them, whatever the saying is. So it makes sense, but, them being there and then it all happening the way it did and then the marketing around the card and then it getting regraded and the whole liquid marketplace thing, it stinks across the board.
The liquid marketplace thing is a killer too, because just imagine those people that got fleeced. Like this is now a $16.5 million USD card, and it's just how it's just progressed to what it is, and it's like they've all had a gag order put on them.
Yeah, there's just so much misinformation too, right? It's hard to know exactly what happened. And it just stinks. And the guy, like, he doesn't come across as genuine at all. Like, he comes across like a sleaze and a shady businessman.
If you read into what Logan Paul himself has said he bought back the card back off the marketplace, and the owners of the marketplace, the creators, sort of the directors or whatever, were supposed to distribute that money back to the people that had shares within the card. So he's pretty much just straight throwing them under the bus.
Well,
if he had any integrity, he would have made sure that it did get back to them. But look, we don't actually know what happened. We don't know what happened behind closed doors here.
Well,
we're just all assuming.
If he's relying on the executives, so last time I checked, it's an asset, and the director of assets.
Correct. Maddie Allen should have been on top of it.
No, let's be honest. No, I know it's funny, but when you look at it,
it's his role, right?
It's his role.
The only thing I can think of is that maybe there's legal things going on in the background, which is why he can't comment. But for him, like, it was $5 million, right? Like, $5 million is sweet.
There he is. Director of Assets, screenshotted it. Maddie Allen, Director of Assets. There he is. That was from the local marketplace website. From literally, I screenshotted that as soon as I seen it.
Everybody's favorite hero. There must be some legal things going on in the background, but he should just go out of his way to fix it. Like, just pay them a couple $1 million. Like, he can afford it. He's got a huge contract with WWE. He's making money hand over fist with everything he does. Like, fucking, come on, man.
Let alone his YouTube channels and all that sort of stuff. The repeat views he'd be getting.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And just the last thing on this, it's funny that Scaramucci, with his treasure trove page that he set up, it's almost got as many followers as the Rip It Instagram page.
How many does it have now?
It's got 10.5 treasure trove, and Rip It's at 14.3 K. So it's very interesting that this guy's come out of nowhere. He's got 10.5K, and they're going to leverage off of each other 150%. Mike,
it was somebody made a good comment where the guy's like, he's launching this media platform, but then they were taking the piss about how he was filming it. It was on like a shitty little iPhone. You think if you're about to pay $17 million for a card and launch this like media empire, you'd actually have like a more formal setup. He's a fucking cameraman.
Wasn't his dad's money?
Oh no, he's it said he started like a venture capital business or something. So Daddy would have helped him at some point, but apparently he's a very well off and successful dude.
Okay, fair enough. The next thing on our list is, of course, this bad boy, Secure Collectibles here, but it's the Wondershyne Index. Currently, the cost base is at 21.3 million. The indexed value is at 32.1 million. There's a whole bunch of cards on here.
I've not actually looked at this in ages, to be honest. I forget it exists. I saw Kevin O'Leary was on like Primetime News or something talking about a card that's going to make collectors weep when they see it. And they're going to announce it in a couple of days, I think. People think there's a few things that people think it is. An out there theory might be that it's the 1-of-1 Steph Curry rookie that's been missing.
Yeah, the other one is
the theory.
The other one's the triple logo man.
Yeah, the Team USA
one.
I don't think people would give a shit about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
People are also talking about potentially it's the Honus Wagner 1-of-1, the first, not the 1-of-1, the first one graded by PSA, one that's allegedly trimmed. But yeah, curious to see what it is.
Yeah, definitely. But this is, I'll tell you one thing though. Kevin O'Leary has got this really mainstream now. like pushing it out there. And I know King Golden used to jump on and do like weekly recaps of his auctions, and he's pushed it and built it up in terms of his show on Netflix. And now Kevin O'Leary is really pushing the high end market side of things, where Ken's pushing a bit of all, unless he says that you can't afford to buy off his website.
Well,
But
pretty much calls them anyone who can't afford anything on his website a pleb.
or
pretty much.
peasant. Yeah.
I don't understand how the secure thing is going to work though, right? Because, like, why would people want to invest in that? Because you need to find buyers for it. I just, like, who's going to be a buyer for those cards at those price points? Like, if they were to sell them, right?
This is the homepage here.
Saudi princes, mate.
Exclusive
That's it.
invitation only, exclusive access to premium sports cards. So they've made 60.41 million in sales off 18 transactions. And request private access. You got to fill in all this stuff.
Like,
You
I've
need a
paid
referral.
such little attention to this, to be honest. Like, I can't see it getting off the ground, and if it does, it's so irrelevant to the rest of the hobby that it's just a shit show.
Yeah.
I can't see people being fooled into using this, right?
But
These
it's just for rich
top
people.
1%
Yeah, it's
of
fundamentally what's
cards.
going to be, yeah.
They're the top
But even
1%
then,
of
the
cards.
investors,
They're
right,
only
like-
going after the best of the best, really.
Like, the liquid marketplace thing was, I think, more concerning, given that it was like being framed and pushed on like your everyday people. The people that would be targeted off the back of this, like, have too much money anyway, so they got more money than sense. So, like, it's a nothing burger, I think, for the grand scheme of things. I think it's, shit from a marketing perspective in terms of the way it's portraying the industry, and I don't think they're saying the right things the way they're talking about these cards and things like that. But it's so irrelevant to like what happens for the rest of the hobby that like, I don't really care, to be honest. I've completely forgot
we're
it
the same.
existed.
It's one of those things, but it's just more the people that are involved in the Wondershyne Index
Yeah,
that's really
which is like conveniently left out, right? That you've got a convicted drug felon, right, or trafficker, whatever he got done for. I don't remember the exact wording, but the fact that he's all over the play, like all over it and being propped up.
They can change, these people. Dan.
Who can change?
So-
People can change. Yeah, people can change, but
Maybe we can benefit of the doubt.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Anyway,
Shine does actually have my favorite ever hobby clip, right? There was a video where he was doing some stuff with backyard breaks, and they went to some like really high end restaurant. I think I've told you about this before, and he was there with the Grant, I think, from Backyard Breaks, and
Yeah.
he opened the boot of his really expensive car and made Grant carrying his handbag into the fucking restaurant. It was the funniest thing ever. You should try and find the clip and play it. He picks up like his LV bag and just hands it to Grant, and Grant carries it into the fucking building for him. It's the biggest like flex. It's like one of the best things I've seen in hobby content, to be honest. And like, I don't think anybody noticed it. So if you find it one day, post it somewhere.
I just think the whole Wondershyne Index is just a load of shit, really, if you ask me. I think it's just really rich people blowing more smoke up each other's asses, and that's about it. Like, it's the Wondershyne Index literally does not affect anyone but the top 1% of people in the whole world. And don't get it twisted. Just because, say, they sell a one of one logo man patch auto of some guy, it doesn't mean that all the other cards are of that player are now worth more. And it's what gets me about this sort of stuff is, people, and I was saying this about after the Illustrator sale, don't turn around and, start asking more for like a Pikachu from 2024 set or a 2025 set just because a Pikachu Illustrator from over 30 years ago sold for $16.5 million. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but this is how dumb people are in the hobby, that vendors will go to shows and do that exact thing. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, it doesn't affect that. It doesn't affect the card from the last 5 years or 10 years, man. Like, it's got nothing to do with those cards.
No,
it's its own card in itself. Like,
Well, they don't look at the big kick. There's a lot of people like that, though, in every collectible industry. It's stupid. So, yeah, you're right. They just need to ignore it and look at the bigger picture, right? Like I said, the good thing about this is the fact that it's completely irrelevant to everybody else. Like, the liquid marketplace thing, which was fundamentally looking to do a very similar thing, was, like I said, targeted to your everyday collector. Like, that's a huge problem, in my opinion. And that's where people were getting sucked in and getting ripped off and, spending money that they probably shouldn't because they were being misinformed. Like, this doesn't impact anyone.
Yeah. Well,
And you-
Rich dudes.
You obviously, well, with the rich people, the elites, when it comes to this hobby, the biggest concern is how legit these sales are going to be of these cards as the prices eventually go up.
That's also the question, right? Like they've put a
So,
value on this
yeah.
card when it was being bought by two individuals looking to start a business. And who's to say that the underbidder wasn't the other person? Who's to say Shine wasn't one bidder and Kevin O'Leary was the other? Like, we're never going to know who the underbidders were, but if you're two people looking to start a business and you want to create some buzz and create a record sale price, why would you not go ahead and do that? Because there was talks, if you recall, about them going into bid individually and then consolidating. They created a consortium, I think is the word Kevin O'Leary used. I have to go back through the archives to find it, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was talked about.
Interesting.
So if you're two individuals wanting to start a business, you want to make millions, I'd say, hey, Doma, let's go head to head on this card. You underbid me, I underbid you. It's now, $10 million more. We put $7.5 million in each. Bang, we've got a new business launched. Like, who's to say that didn't happen?
It's
The way
true.
to think about it, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we have these discussions. Think outside the box.
And people will say, like,
outside the
why would they
box.
do that? Why would they do that? Well, they're not doing that to get the card in a PC. They're doing it to launch a business. Like,
That's right.
$15 million
They're trying
for
to-
a marketing fund is nothing in the grand scheme of things if they're trying to launch a $1 billion business, which is how Kevin O'Leary's talked about this thing.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to think of it through that lens.
Yeah. And that poses, yeah.
Once again, I'm just still mystified that he's aligning himself with a convicted cocaine dealer. Like, that's
Well, Kevin
that's all
O'Leary
I
doesn't
gotta say.
necessarily have the cleanest history either, from what I've heard. Wasn't he very close or doing stuff with the FTX dude and
Oh, there
some
we
other
go.
things in the past as well?
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah. I don't know the full details on that, but
Jeez.
there's lots of stories about him. And like I've seen
Very
the stuff he
nice.
did from the thing I talked about in this video now, it's all coming back to me. Like the way he's talking about cards is the same way he talked about watches 4 or 5 years ago. The exact same way.
Okay.
He was talking
Okay.
about watches as an asset class and doing things around that with them back then. And then because I'm a watch nerd, I see all that stuff. And then years later, I see this thing with cards. It's like, it's the same speech you gave back then, only for a
Same
different
sales
asset now.
pitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just
Interesting.
in one ear, out the other with him, to be honest.
And obviously, you've seen some money laundering stuff, obviously, in the last week or so. Obviously, how easy it is to do that in the hobby. So,
Yeah, I was.
yeah, if you want to touch on that.
Sorry,
No, go.
It came off. I was on a Professor Sports Card live stream, and then the question came up about money laundering. I don't recall how it came up, but I don't think people appreciate how easy it is in this space. Like I've seen it here in Australia. Like I've seen guys walk around at card stores, card shows that don't look like they collect cards and have a lot of fucking cash on hand, and they're just buying random shit at top dollar. Like they're clearly, using this industry to clean cash. And the way they're doing that is essentially taking this dirty money they've got from like illegal activities, they buy random cards and then sell them for a discount. So if you've got like 100 grand that you've made, by selling gear, go ahead and buy, 80 grand worth of cards that you pay 100 grand for, and then you sell those cards for 60, 70, 80 grand, and you've got clean money. Because when you get asked where that cash come from, oh, I sold some sports cards I had. And that's sort of what's happening here. And I think you see it happen on auction houses too, where people are, buying cards with dirty money and then cleaning them via selling on auction houses too. And people are, and I think the reason why it came up on the live stream was because there was like a green kaboom that sold for a ridiculous amount of money. I forget which player it was that they were saying, well, how does it sell for that amount? And I think it's because people have money in and around these systems where they're literally looking to clean it. So they're just trying to, buy what they can at whatever prices. Because even if they make a loss, it's still profit to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because
of
they've
course.
legitimized that cash.
Yeah.
So I think it happens a lot in this space, and I think it happens a lot with repacking and breaking in general. And my big concern is like if that gravy train were to stop, what's the rest of the hobby going to look like? If you've got all these people relying on all this cash coming in, it's not sustainable long term. Like I've talked about it before, like repackers go to tables and they pay like 90% comps. So people like you and I might take a bit more risks when we're buying cards because we know, hey, we can sell it at a local card store because there's or a show because there's going to be a repacker there who's going to buy it. So if I make a loss, it's only going to be small because they're going to buy it. If that money disappears, how many people are left there holding cards they don't want to own long term that they've overpaid for and been really risky with? So yeah, that stuff like worries me, and it's not just people buying the wrong cards. It's people that move into things like TCG when they're nothing about TCG. It's people that
Oh
collect sports when they're nothing about certain sports. Like you've seen it with
man,
F1, you've seen it to an extent with soccer in the States. It's all this money going into things where people don't actually give a shit about them. And they buy it because they're like, well, maybe it's going to come good long term. But if everybody's doing the fucking same thing as you, these things aren't going to be worth shit long term.
it's a valid point.
Yeah, so I went on a rant
It
there,
makes
sorry, but
no, but it just
that's
makes you
what I
think.
see
It makes
happening.
you think about the early days of the hobby too. Like it really does. Like you're locked up in COVID. How are people making money? And if you actually had to like go full down the rabbit hole and conspiratorial about it all, and it's like you got these jars and Zion selling for $150,000 and 75 grand a card, and you're thinking like, where are these people getting this money? Like during COVID, and yeah,
Yep.
it was an easy way to be doing shady stuff and cleaning your money during COVID without anyone checking up on you.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, like a lot of these businesses, especially back then, didn't have very strong AML laws for anti-money laundering and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think a lot of that would have been happening as well. And I know some of these auction houses, a lot of them, if not all of them, might do it actually. Like sell, if you buy a card, right, they let you fund the purchase by selling more cards. So
Ah,
like there's other avenues where you can go down with that as well in terms of cleaning crap because you might buy a legitimate card with a line of credit on Golden as an example, and then you might send in 10 cards that are bought with dirty money that then allows you now to get a legitimate $100,000 card back from them because you sell them on
jeez.
Golden, right? So that can happen as well. Now, maybe these businesses vet that stuff really well, but that's the kind of stuff that I have zero doubt in my mind is happening with at least one auction house. Like it has
Fuck.
to be happening out there. And like this is all like really niche stuff, right? This is not happening everywhere, but I think
Yeah,
there's
of
trickle
course.
down effects from it. And I think some of that money, like I think biking money is going towards repackers. It has to be. There's a lot of stores opening up as well where it just that doesn't make sense where this money's coming from and where the demand is coming
Alleged,
from. Yeah, allegedly,
allegedly.
allegedly. Don't need any people coming after me,
Allegedly.
mate. But yeah, like you see it in the States where like these young kids, right? They're running around with like fucking $500,000 in cash, buying random crap. Like where when I was in the when I was to the Macau show in 2023,
Mhm.
there was vloggers there from the US on the phone to people back home, getting money from them and paying all this crazy money for certain cards. It's like who's funding that? Like, is it just some really rich dude looking to make some cash of minions, or is it a bit more nefarious? And to be honest, like it wouldn't be that hard. You go to a young kid wanting to make vlogs. It's not hard to say, hey, I'll give you 3 or 4 grand a week. Go do this for me.
Yeah, bloody oath. It's good
So
money.
I think that stuff is definitely happening. It's
Very
probably very
enticing for
small
them too.
compared to how many people are actually participating in the hobby, but I think it's bringing a lot of liquidity. And maybe I'm off base with that and too tinfoil, but I think it's happening.
It's starting to sound like you may Rahul.
Yeah, Mr. Tinfoil himself.
Your thoughts, Saucy, on the money laundering?
Yeah, look,
Is it happening?
I think it's definitely happening. I think it's definitely happening somewhere along the line. Whether it's part of it is people going to shows, cashing out certain cards, and then chucking up on auction houses, and then just selling, putting it either on eBay or through a Golden or another auction house, and just selling them for whatever they can get them from on auction, and whatever it sells for, it sells for. Obviously, anyone with half an idea would be trying to pay as close as they can to whatever comps are there, and then so they can recoup the most of the or clean most of their money. So at least they're cleaning whatever 90% of the money that they're inputting into, and then they turn around and pay the tax on that sale, and there you go. They've got legit money to now then loan against and buy a property or buy other real world assets, which they wouldn't have been able to do before with the cash that they had in their hand. I have also heard of like, there's people like, players in China, using credit cards to buy expensive cards in Japan, and then using those cards to clean sort of launder money in a way through being able to then sell that card, and then they have no intention to then pay back their credit card, and then it's just like scams galore. Like
Prime for the picture,
really,
mate.
yeah,
well,
it's absolutely mental. But yeah, look, I think it is happening at some level. Whether things start getting looked at with a fine tooth comb, by governments or whatever
that's
it
not
is,
going to
and,
happen.
and they follow it. I don't know if they follow the money trail, mate.
That's not happening.
Mate, they can't even stop freaking bloody heroin getting dealt out of the commission flats here in Melbourne. So you think they're going to stop this, mate?
No way.
If that's not on the front of their mind,
There's
then
too many. There's too many card shows now. People just stay away from the online activity. There's too many avenues where you can sell those cards in person, trade nights, card shows,
whatnot.
I think they do see it, but I just don't think they do anything about it. Because was it Operation Bullpen, which was that long-term
yes,
investigation by the FBI? Like, I think it's probably happening. It's just they're just waiting until it becomes tangible. They can use it. I think it's maybe too naive to think they're not looking at all.
That's fair.
But anyway, some people, right? Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, ladies and gents. Anyway, how's your favorite platform? Whatnot gone down these days? Now you're talking to two people that are currently on Whatnot, so don't you dare take a crack at
we're
us.
sponsored by them, all right? So we can't talk shit about them, all right? No,
the
we're not
thing
sponsored
that
by them at all.
I've found most alarming with them, or most interesting in the last couple of months, is before Christmas they made a new update to the app where they allow you to set limits, spend limits, and also watch time limits as a user. And they did that completely under the radar. They didn't talk about it. They didn't advertise it. And I thought that was really interesting, because my biggest thing for them has always been the policing that they do. I think they do a really shit job at holding breakers accountable on that platform. And I think it's fundamentally gambling. And they've sort of shied away from that. But the fact they've gone ahead and implemented a feature like that indicates that they think a concern exists, right? And it's a feature that you see within gambling apps. And they do it under the radar is really weird. My theory is there's rumors that they're going public, and I think that's why they've gone ahead and done that. Because I think they're going to need to have a feature like that implemented.
Correct.
I did see one situation where they seem to have, followed it up quite well, and it was with a Dowman 1-of-1 from who plays for Arsenal. He's like a young kid, 15, 16-year-old. He's, played a few games this season. People are calling him a wonder kid and whatever, the whole jazz that people give when a new rookie hits the scene. And there was a Whatnot breaker that was apparently, he was giving away this pack, right? So he hadn't announced who he was giving the pack to, or the contents of the pack, but he was going to open the pack and then announce the person he was giving it away to. He opens it up. It happens to be a 1-of-1 Dowman Superfactor, and like he ends up pretty much saying, no, I'm not giving this one away. I'll give away a different one. He doesn't give it away. It all gets recorded. It all gets reported to Whatnot, and he then sort of shuts his Whatnot down. He's then since then tried to start another 2 or 3 Whatnot channels, and people have reported him, and they've shut those down because they're obviously not happy with what he did. But that's just one instance. There's been much worse things, and people doing much things on a very similar level that are still running on Whatnot. So look, I don't know. It's the platform and the idea of Whatnot is good, but I think also part of it needs to fall down to people already in the hobby educating other people about that platform, and the potential pitfalls of overspending, maybe overbidding on cards that you shouldn't be paying that much for. You see cards going for even if it's just like a $10 card, you see it going for $20, and then you can go on eBay and the same card's literally $10. Buy it now. So when that sort of stuff happens, it does suck. But at the same time, then you do get great sellers on there that will go, mate, you've overpaid for that. I'm going to throw in a couple of free
Yeah,
packs.
which
You
is
know
the
what I
thing they need
mean?
to
Like,
do. They need to work on more, right? They need to do more with that sort of stuff, because the whole vintage thing, like you said, the guy was taken down by Whatnot, but there's plenty of others where they've not done enough there. So they just need to police it better, and I think they need to do more to hold sellers accountable. It's the Wild West essentially. Like, it's the really small minority like ruining it for the majority, right? You've got a handful of people doing a really shit job, and that's making everyone else look bad. I think they need to think of ways to hold them more accountable. Now, I think it's easier for Fanatics Live to do that than it is Whatnot, and I can explain why that is a little bit later on if you want. But some people were suggesting on my videos about that stolen one of one story was like, why don't they make sellers? Why don't they hold a percentage of sales? Why don't they hold 25% of your sales every month, and then if you have no issues, they pay it out to you. And then if you do have issues, they look into it and have somebody manually review the situation. Like, that would help.
look, eBay held my money for like 3 weeks when I sold one of my cards for like $1,000 on eBay. It got stuck in there. $900 was stuck in there after they took the fees out for like 3 weeks until they paid me
Yeah.
out. So I mean, you've got eBay doing it, so it's not like a bad idea, saying, well, we're going to hold 15% of all your total sales, and at the end of the month, obviously, as there's no wrongdoing, and everything's all smooth, it's a lump sum payout for you. But yeah,
Yeah, or they
look,
just do fortnightly payouts or something, where you don't get your cash for the sale you made. See, the issue is though, like with this Dowman one of one, it's like rumored to be worth like £50,000 or
well,
whatever it
apparently
is.
it was sold privately for around that. Yeah.
Or he's still got the card, right? I'm not sure if you saw the latest. He came
Oh,
back. Did you
okay.
see the video? Yeah, I put out a video yesterday. The guy's back and trying
Okay.
to backtrack and everything. He still
Mm.
has the card, but like, they sell $1,000 break. They get a $50,000 card. Like, it's hard to keep cash that's going to cover that, right? It's just a really difficult thing to do, but I think they just need to do more. I think it's the Wild West. There's a lot of shit things that happen on there.
When Whatnot first came to Australia, they were very much picking and choosing who they were allowing on the platform. But then they opened it up to everyone, and then it sort of allowed a lot of riffraff from Australia. I mean, there was a lot already in the States, but allowed a lot of riffraff from Australia, and it's half the reason why we decided to do our breaks and whatnot, because I mean, you need more trusted people in the hobby that when
Yeah, do
you
it. Yeah.
hit a big card, you're going to get what you've paid for. Like, we're sitting on 500 videos on YouTube, 1,500 subscribers, and 6-7 years of content in this hobby. And to ruin our name over, a bit of money, and, what could be building forward towards something bigger for us personally, it just doesn't make sense to do
Yeah.
that.
No.
Right?
Nope.
Whereas you've got these random Tom, Dick, and Harrys that just buy their boxes direct from Tops, straight from the website, and then jump on Whatnot and break them, and then they hit the one of one, and they're like, well, I got nothing to lose. I've just started this sort of platform, or I've only got 1,000 followers. Like, I'm ripping it. Like, £50,000 is a lot of money. Could be life changing to someone. So yeah, look, I think that's also part of the problem. Is just the people out there buying into these randoms and not doing their research into the people that you're buying into. We always say on our show, and we'll promote certain breakers in Australia, and say, yeah, break with these guys, because whether you could go back and watch the break and literally with a fine tooth comb and say, that's my card, that's my card, that's my card, that's my card, right? And then you'll see in the mail, you get your cards that you hit.
Yeah.
Or you could not even watch the break and you're still going to get hit your cards because they've got too much reputation
Yeah.
to
Too much
lose,
integrity. Yep.
and too much integrity within their business, right? So it's not worth it for them.
No, I agree. They need to think about a way to fix it though, because I think it's going to get worse. The more mainstream this becomes, the worse it's going to get.
I agree with you, 100%.
And I don't know how they. It's a harder problem. They're easy to point the finger at, right? But they can do more, especially with these big breakers. I think that's where I have a big problem, because it's really hard to control. The whole purpose of that app is for any person to pick up their phone and start selling shit, right? That's why it's so powerful, and you can't really control that effectively, but you can certainly control your big time breakers. The fact that Backyard Breaks could make the comments they did
No,
and get away with it is just ridiculous to me.
I still can't believe. Well, we have to go back.
Something
I
along the
know-
lines of he'd pimp out his own daughter or something.
Yeah, or something like
along
that,
those lines.
yeah, some disgusting comment like that. But you
Piece of
made a
shit.
comment. You made a comment in your video, Dan, and then we actually said on the episode that week on our podcast that it doesn't matter what happens in this scenario. We said within a 6-month period, this guy will be back on the platform.
Yeah, and it's happened.
Yeah, it'll all be forgotten. That's what always happens.
But
in
even
this hobby.
PSA stood by they allowed them to break like on site afterwards. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
stupid. Like there's so much like low hanging fruit that happens in this space. They just need to sort their shit out and clean it. Like PSA have the power. Like who gives a fuck if these guys?
Mate,
Have
PSA
been a lot
is
of business.
PSA has zero integrity, mate. They literally gave a 10 to a Wemby card when the guy said to the camera in the PSA office, "I cleaned it with Kurt's cum care." Yeah?
Yeah,
And they still gave it a 10. So what
about that?
integrity do they have? They've got zero integrity,
that?
mate. Like, for me. Like, come on. He's telling you in your own office that I've
Yeah,
altered the
I
card and
completely
you
forgot
still
about
gave
that.
it a 10.
That
The
was
stupid thing about that is PSA are like literally too big to fail. They're
Yes.
going to be king forever.
Yeah.
The only way they wouldn't would be if like systematic fraud came out and that business collapsed overnight. They're not
Yeah.
going anywhere. So it's so easy for them to say, we're going to delist that card, decertify that card. We're not going to allow you to break in our office. It's so easy for them to do. Like that's
Yeah.
no one can do anything about it because they're the top dogs. Like they have the power and they don't
They
do it,
could-
which
yeah.
is really disappointing.
They
And-
ultimately could be the hobby watchdog.
Yeah, they
Yeah, they-
decertify it and then they turn around and say, "But just send it to Beckett, our sister company.
yeah, like
we own that one too."
I just
They're
don't
going to own
think they're
CGC
informed.
soon too.
They'll never own CGC,
reckon.
I don't think.
Mhm.
I think they're too big. I think there's probably a better chance of Fanatics getting CGC than collectors. Is my theory.
I feel like another player has to go after another grading company. We can't have collectors owning.
Well, they
them
might
all.
be forced
Like,
to sell it, right,
that's-
from a fair trade commission thing in the US. They might be forced to sell one of them,
Yeah.
Jeez.
Beckett or
What a-
SGC. But I don't know. I get they just have a lot more power, and they can fix things and hold things more accountable. But no, they don't seem to care. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Who knows?
That's right.
is,
They'll just make another
the ultimate
entity,
question.
Dan, put some money into there, and then just buy it through the other entity, and it won't look like collectors, and they'll still technically own it, right?
Do you have any-
Let's be honest.
Do you have any comments on resellers and LCSs selling boxes at the astronomical secondary market prices when they're getting
Off
these
the bat,
products?
we should
off the
say.
bat.
This was one of the things I flagged. So I had that conversation with Mike Mahan, the CEO of Fanatics Collectibles, the other day, and I'm not sure if you saw my video, but it was all off the record, right? Because it was just an introductory conversation. A lot of people gave
Yeah.
me shit for that, but they're idiots. One of the things that we talked about though was like making the hobby more accessible for, your everyday collector, and they need to think about ways to allow product to get into the hands of people without having to pay an arm and a leg. Like it's ridiculous that box prices have been pushed the way they have via the breaking platforms. That they shouldn't then also be screwed over when they try and buy a box themselves. Because number one, they can't buy the box themselves. The EQL thing never works. It gets sold out by bots, and then they go shifted up through the moon in terms of price points. So you need to fix that, and that's a huge issue. And I think, long term, people should be worried about that, because if your everyday collector is not getting boxes now, like what impact is that going to have in 5-10 years time? Like when we think about us being kids, getting a chance to rip packs and rip boxes, and a lot of that stuff was worthless today compared to what it was back then. But we had the opportunity to open things and rip things with, we all have stories about our mum or dad taking us to the shop and getting a chance to buy a pack of cards. It's not like that anymore. And when you can go ahead and do that now, it's really expensive and it's shit. Like it's product that nobody wants to own. When you do finally get the chance to buy something, you get, beat into it by bots. They need to think about ways to make the hobby more accessible. Because if people today are not getting that opportunity, is there going to be a hobby long term? Because we are the foundation for this industry.
Well,
The
obviously,
average collector.
they own Tops, and Tops' direct to consumer is the same things happening with bots and people with multiple accounts. And well, I'm not sure if you saw the other day. Saucy, I was fired up, and Saucy said, "Just relax. It's nothing's 100% confirmed yet, but EB Games wanted to make some changes here in Australia that your pre-orders for TCG only would have to be in store as a potential change
What do you mean
to
install?
So if you
You'd
wanted
have
to
to go into
pre-order
a
Pokemon,
physical
you had
venue.
physical face-to-face to pre-order. You couldn't do it online with your
Right.
EB Plus account anymore. So
Right.
it would stop people with bots. So you'd actually physically have to go in there
Yeah.
instead of
I know
letting
I know one person that spends what is it, 1,000? What? How much is it? It's $50 a year, Dom.
$50.
Right?
She's
He
got
spends
20 accounts.
$1,000 a year on accounts. That's 20 different accounts he's running on EB
Just to get
Games.
product.
So
Yeah.
just to get product, and if you're pre-ordering, say, One Piece or whatever, it's most of the time it's one box per person, one booster box per person per account, I should say. So he's guaranteeing himself 20 boxes. And if like the latest release of One Piece, I've had to settle for the Japanese because I just refused to pay $500 to $650 a box when it just came out 2 weeks ago. So I bought the Japanese packs. But the EBO3 release came out pre-order on. If you pre-ordered it, because obviously EB, they've got like for every 10 packs you order, you get one for free, right? So you order your 24 booster pack, 24 packs that come in the box, and you order 24 separate packs. That gets you two for free. So
It's a
technically,
discount.
so it's a discount. So the boxes work out to $192 each, and then they instantly on the day of release, because no one could get them, because people with multiple accounts and anyone with bots where it was released otherwise ate all the stock, and it was 600 to 650 a box. Like, just mental. How can it go from 192 or $200 a box to 600 on the day of release, man? And
Yeah, it's
then
insane.
what grinds my gears, Dan, is when you get situations where on the day of release, for instance, like the latest OPO 14, which was the release before that, on the day of release, which was on a Friday, I went around. Some stores didn't get their stock on time. It was late for delivery. But the ones that did get it on time, I walked into there and asked them, "Oh, do you have any stock?" "Oh, no, we got none left." And then 2 days later, they post stock on their website at the secondary market price,
Of course.
$400 a box,
Of
right? When
course.
it's gone up to I think 370 a box. They posted it 2 days later, and this was a local LCS that holds gameplay. Like, it's absolutely disgusting, right? Disgusting. Now you've got
The
some
palette
LCSs
lock.
that are doing it right, and they're giving priority to their players. And I do know of an LCS that, because if you're a regular customer and you go there every week and pay an entry fee to play in tournaments, they will offer you the box for like 220 or 240, which is a really good price. Because you're a regular. So it's good to see some LCSs doing that. But, to turn around and tell someone to their face, we don't have any stock, and then 2 days later, because the
You
market's
have it.
moved on the box, you've just held back stock on
Fell off a truck,
purpose,
mate. It fell off a
right?
truck.
And released it 2 days later because you want to make more money. Let's not beat around the bush here, right? Like, that's what you've done.
The palette just happened to arrive as the listing went up.
No
They
worries.
need to
No worries.
they need to do what Tops are doing in the UK with the Premier League logo fractor stuff. Do direct to consumer and have it be unsealed. Remove the seal before shipping. Like, that'll fix it, because nobody's going to buy a box that doesn't have a seal on it from a scalper or flipper, because who knows what the fuck they've done to that box. So
It
my
would
video
also
tomorrow is actually going to talk about that. That has a lot of red flags with it, because there's now more room for hanky panky, right? You could potentially have distributors search through boxes before they go ahead and post them, but Tops can fix that themselves by having a robust process. Now, people will think Tops are going to do shady things with that, so be it, but that'll fix it. The shit thing with that, though, is if you're somebody who likes to collect sealed wax, you can't do that anymore. You buy a product from Tops directly. What's it going to do to the secondary price? It sort of controls what's happening with secondary product, but I'm all for collectors getting their hands on boxes at fucking retail. So if I have to have a box that's not sealed so I can rip a box of Topps Chrome, then so be it. I'd rather do that than pay fucking $700, $800 for a box that's worth $300.
100%. I agree with you. The biggest concern
Dan,
then is
I bought this directly from Tops, and it's Real Madrid Los Blancos box, and it still cost me $900, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And that was
So, like,
directly from Tops.
yeah, so there's elements I have to fix for a price point too. But like, I think it will help if boxes are not sealed when you get them, because scalpers will not be buying them, bots will not be buying them.
Well, yeah, it will fix the bot issue, and I'm deep in that. I'm deep in that Discord community, and they really piss me off. You know, like as I spoke about on our latest podcast. If you haven't listened, go give it a listen. Our latest live.
You didn't speak to it. You lost the absolute plot.
Yeah, lost my shit at them, which fairly rightfully so, Dan. I mean, if you got someone that's hitting 50 boxes on a pre-order, and then you ask him to sell you one box at 400, mind you, he's bought it at 200, so he's doubling his freaking money, and he refuses to sell you one box. And I said, mate, I'm gonna rip the box. Like, this is like I want to rip it. Like, I want to open it. I'll literally go live in the Discord for everyone to see. And he turns around and calls me a peasant because I'm begging for a box at 400 when the market's 600. And I pretty much just felt like saying at that point, like, mate, go F yourself. You've got 50 boxes and you can't even sell one to another hobbyist for $400, and you're going to double your money. Like, this is where we're at. And that's what's annoying me, man. Like, we got people like this in the hobby that
won't
don't
be
give
like this long term.
Don't give a F.
That's the only thing I can like. It sucks for now, but I don't think it's going to be like that long term.
I don't think so either.
I think like you can take some comfort in the fact that those people are going to be screwed over pretty hard down the line, especially if they were like living paycheck to paycheck to pay for this stuff and fund this sort of stuff, because it's not going to last. There's too much money being left on the table. Like, from a Bandai perspective, from a Pokemon perspective, why would they? They're leaving so much fucking money on the table by allowing scalpers to do this, because clearly they've got boxes that are worth what's a Pokemon ETB worth? Is it like 150 retail, whatever it is? Is that what it should be? 180?
120.
100 to 120 they sell retail.
And they sell for like 250 secondary, is that what they are?
Sometimes, yep.
So
The current
from
one-
like
Ascended Heroes came out and their boxes are going from 170 to 190, sometimes $200.
So, like, they're leaving so much money on the table there. If they were to go direct to consumer and sell those unsealed, they could be selling those for 150 each instead of what the current 120 is. They could still bump the price up and keep all that profit for themselves. Like, why are they so comfortable to give secondary scalpers $70 profit every box? That's obviously part of why Fanatics are doing what they're doing now and why they've changed their distribution model, because you've essentially seen in the Panini area all these boxes retail for such cheap prices that are now, 4, 5, 6 times the price when they hit secondary. Like, that's way too much money being left on the table. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they haven't tried to fix it themselves. It's not sustainable, and the money's there for them to be made. Like, they should be the ones making it.
The seal though sits so uneasy with me though. Personally, being someone like buying, if it's direct from Tops, I get it, but it just it puts a spanner in the works for a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree, but I think if they were to do something like that, breakers would get a different process. They'd get a different channel, and I was
going to say they'd have to, because they would genuinely get unsealed boxes, and I'm telling you, if they're selling per the pack, they are weighing everything in there before they even sell it back.
So I think that's what they'd fix, but that's where the red flag comes in, where they're gonna tailor who they want in the industry, because they're going to select breakers getting sealed product from them. I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen within 2 years. I think it's going to happen within 12 months, actually. I've said for a long time that Fanatics should be funneling every breaker through Fanatics Live by making them sign exclusive arrangements. And then if these breakers do anything wrong, they can tell them to fuck off and go on Whatnot. And then they don't get product anymore. And then they can hold breakers accountable, because they can say, hey, if you want to bust with us, you have to be ethical, you have to do the right things, otherwise you don't get to use our product. Go pay secondary prices. So I think they can do that, but that's how they'll also do it through this seal thing. I think they'll have exclusive breakers, will be on their platform only, and they're the only ones that are going to get sealed product. I think that'll happen.
I think that's what we all thought would happen when they launched Fanatics Live, and we're like, well, they're just trying to obviously dip into every avenue and make more revenue, and then on Fanatics, you can also then... They bought PWCC, so then you can also, doubling up on any commission that they're making. So they're making it on the live, they're making it on the marketplace, they're making it on the initial box sale. Like, it all makes sense as to why they would want to keep that one whole ecosystem within under their banner and make money at every level. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to open up a can of worms. You got a lot of sealed collectors out there that like me. That I've got eat. I'm not the one to hoard. You got people hoarding cases and cases. I'll buy maybe 3 or 4 of an ETB and hold it. I'm a big ETB collector, going back as far as 6-7 years. I've got ETBs that old from Pokemon. So for me, it would ruin that part of the hobby, but at the same time, I think you then navigate a different part of the hobby. Personally, I think there's always a different avenue to collect something that you enjoy, and then you just find a way to spend your money elsewhere. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if how much pushback people put on this, and I think the pushback is if they start doing this rip seal business direct from tops, and then they're not selling out
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right?
like
That's
how they
where the
are.
concerns are going to be. The liquidity, like how much liquidity is coming off the back of these repackers. Because or resellers, sorry, because if you were to take it away overnight, and you're left with all this product, what does that do to the industry? You're going to
So
have thousands of boxes just fucking sit there, and then so it is a fine thing to work through, right? But something's got to give. And at the moment,
something's
it's
going to
not
give.
working. It's not working at the moment.
Something's going to give. I think it's important to be able to get. They've got to find a way to get. Personally, they've got to find a way to get hobby box prices down. Like, we can't be still be paying close to $1,000 for a hobby box where
Yeah,
you're
it's insane.
guaranteed one auto, Dan. One auto, and you could get like an auto of an absolute dud, and that's why people even decide to keep stuff sealed. I mean, even in Pokemon, I mean, the potential to hit something, and I think that's part to do with the fact that people are forced to pay these secondary market prices, so they're reluctant to rip the box open because they know highly likely they're not going to hit anything. So when they do have to say pay on the secondary market, or like me when I bought my first prismatic ETB, it was so hard to get prismatic. I ended up paying I think 210 for like one on the secondary market, just to have it sealed. And then I'm like, well, I'm never going to open that because maybe at $100 I would open it, or maybe
Yeah, but
open
at
a
that price
couple.
point, you won't.
But
Yep.
at that price, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable because I've seen people. I mean, you watch people open cases upon cases of it, and it's not easy to hit the good cards. So
No. That's the other argument people have about the hobby too, where they say, "Oh, you can just go into a break and you can buy this sort of stuff, and you can still buy boxes and rip boxes." But you know, 10 years ago when I was buying boxes select, it was like what $300 for a hobby box or whatever it was, and you're guaranteed 2 autos. I think you were in the box. Yet now, if you want to do the same thing, you got to pay $1,000, $200, $3,000, whatever it is. I don't even know how much a box of select costs
you
now,
get
and
one.
you're not guaranteed to get an autograph, or you're gonna get one. So, like it's shit that needs to be fixed. Like my daughter likes Pokemon. She loves the movies. I've bought her packs here and there, and I want to open more with her, but we can't afford it. I'm not paying that kind of money for a fucking box that's worth $100, right? The only boxes
Well,
I've bought have
yeah,
been the ones I can get from Costco because they do like the ETBs with the little booster boxes. What are they called? For like a
yeah,
hundred
the
bucks or
booster
something.
bundles and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
they're like dirt cheap. That's a fun rip. Sit there, open
But
them. If she ruins a card, who cares? But I paid $200 for an ETB, and we get nothing, or she like breaks the cards. It obviously hits a lot harder to pay $200 for crap than it was for 100.
well, I agree with you. I thought during Christmas, I'm like, you know what, stuff it, because like we'd had stock um, for like the breaks page, and we've got our own personal stuff, and I'm like, oh, I've got a phantasmal booster box here, and it goes against absolutely everything of me just ripping booster boxes because there's more value in opening an ETB, like you're saying. And I'm like, you know what? It's Christmas. You don't get to rip much anymore because it's hard to sometimes get product. Like it's easy to get a booster bundle or blister packs, and if you want to, but I'm like to actually rip a box. And I sat down and I actually walked in here into my study, and I said to my son, pick the box. There was like 4 boxes, and he pointed to one, and I decided to rip it. I got absolutely jack shit. I got
Yep,
nothing, and
which
I'm looking
hurts,
at
right?
yeah, and I'm looking at it. Go, that's $300. like what I bought. Well, I was in for cost average of $350, so that's $350 down the toilet.
Yeah, it hurts, and that's the part that sucks, right? It's not like people say, oh, the average collector can still afford to rip a box, but it's not like losing $300 hurts a lot more than it did, 10 years ago, because it was a lot more affordable. It's not the same. So, it's shit. Like I bought some things off Cherry the other day. I saw Disney came out with some new Disney, Topps came out with some new
Volcano.
Disney cards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Not Topps, not Disney Chrome, whatever it's called. It was a different set. I forget what it's called. It's a lot more affordable, but Cherry had them for like 40% off. And I was like, oh, they're like $35 each for these booster bundles, or what are they called? The 7-pack boxes, the blaster boxes, what they're called.
Yeah, the blasters.
I'll
Yeah.
buy a few. And then I saw I had a $50 voucher from Cherry from buying shit for the last 10 years. So I got them for like $20 each. I gave those to my daughter. She loved it, but got jack shit. And those boxes retail for like $90 each. I got
That's
4 for
cool.
$90 instead of 1 for $90.
Well, that's
insane.
worked out good, but that's crazy.
But like
It's-
even
it,
then,
like-
you get nothing. These products are produced like crap these days. It's not affordable. It's just, it sucks.
But if all of it's just like you're saying, it's so different to when we grew up as kids. And I understand people are going to say prices have changed and the way that the economy is going and things go up in value and like they inflate over time. And I get that. I do get that. But like to walk into a shop to pick up my ETBs and like they're selling it in the store for 120 and
Yeah.
there's 10 packs in the ETB Ascended Heroes, and you're then selling the packs for $14.50 a pack. Like to buy 10 packs is $145. It is just it's absolutely ludicrous. $14.50 for a pack.
Yeah.
Like I
it's
bought
crazy.
one because I'm like I want to open Ascended
Yeah, I do
Heroes.
the same thing. That's why they keep pushing the prices up, right?
Yeah,
So,
but it's just ludicrous. I've seen it. I saw a website selling Ascended Heroes packs for $20.
yeah, it's stuffed up. I don't think I've hit anything good ripping a box in ages for Pokemon, or ripping packs. I just buy them every now and then. It's obviously not the way to go, but I want to scratch that itch, right? I've
Yeah.
had some good luck with some soccer boxes I ripped. Actually, I can show you some of the cards. So, in 2023, I bought a box of Mosaic Euros.
Well, let's get you.
and I bought it for Christmas. It might have been 2023 or 2024. I don't remember exactly which year. But I got an Alessandro Nesta. So this is just the
nice.
base auto. Right, so I got that in 2023, 2024 Christmas, whatever it was. And then before the hobby hangout in Sydney last year, I bought some product to sell from overseas. So I bought another box. I bought a box of Select Euro and then a box of Mosaic Euro. And I was like, oh, I'll maybe rip them. They ended up paying too much money for them, including shipping. So I was like, okay, I'll try and sell them. So I sold the Select for more than what I paid, but I couldn't sell the Mosaic, right? I couldn't sell it. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to open it. And then I got Paolo Maldini, which I thought was fucking awesome.
Oh,
So
that's so nice.
I've opened 2 boxes in the last 3 years when it comes to sports cards, pretty much, and I've hit 2 Italy orders. So I was cheering, and it was actually pretty funny. So the guy who I sold the Select Euro box to on eBay was like, oh, I'm trying to chase Italian players. And I'm like, well, fuck, if you buy the Select, tell me what you get, because I'd be really annoyed if you hit an Italy player, right? And he goes, oh, I got jack shit. And I'm like, you sure you don't want to buy my Mosaic? He's like, no, I don't want it. And then I opened
You
it,
hit
and
the
I got
Italy
the
player.
fucking-
There
I
you
got the
go.
bloody Maldini. It's fucking hilarious. So yeah, very happy with that.
And it's a
I'm gonna
clean
send it off.
auto too, Dan.
Yeah, he's got
by the
like
looks of it.
an awesome auto.
It's a beautiful
nice
auto.
Yeah. It's a little bit faded, I think.
You find that with the older players, they really, older players
take
really
respect,
put
right?
effort,
Even like
take
Nesta, right?
respect in their auto, yeah? Like the new guys and up and comers, they're just the new rookies. They
it's
just,
class, man.
bro, like Lamine Yamal's auto is just a joke, bro. It is just
So
a
many of them are,
joke,
right?
man.
But to be fair, they sign a lot fucking more these days, and this is what they don't get either, right? The US sports people get paid a lot, but like these soccer athletes get paid a shitload of money. I think the average soccer player definitely makes more than what they do in the NBA, right? In terms of like your average player.
Yeah.
So like them getting paid $100,000 to sign some cards, who gives a shit? Like look at Messi with all his fake autos. You really like why does he want the money from Topps and Panini to sign shit? Like of course some shady things are going to go down because it's not worth his fucking time. He probably loses money sitting there for hours writing his fucking name.
See, there's that side of things, and then there's someone like Kobe Bryant that took pride
Yes, yeah.
in
But
signing,
he's the GOAT for a reason, right?
and you know, he knew that this was for the fans, and you know, it probably wasn't worth his time. You know, he had that much money and he had that many investments, he had massive deals with Nike, but he still took the time to sign these with care, with quality auto. And he even, you know, to the mindset of he would challenge himself to make the autos look as identical as possible. You know, it was an own game within himself. You know, to for people, for the fans,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, there's sort of that aspect too, where you've got some athletes that really respect it and understand it, and you know, put their wholehearted effort into it, and then you got, you know, other sort of athletes that
bums that
really
don't.
just do not give a shit.
Every time we talk about Kobe, it just reminds me of the Cherry Collectibles hit for me. Grayson did in his old apartment. Gold patch auto of his from Select 2013-14 that I sold when I bought my house in 2015, I think. And I sold it for like $1,000. And then I did a video the other day, or not the other day, other month, about cards that I regret selling. And as part of that, I talked about that card. I'm like, oh fuck, let's do some research on Card Ladder to see if it recently sold. And it sold for like 26 fucking grand. So yeah, random story, but that does not feel good. I went back through all my like Facebook messages as well, and I had on card autos of LeBron from his high school sets. I had a purple rookie of Giannis. I reckon I had like $30,000 worth of cards in addition to that Kobe. I sold way too soon, but anyway, sorry for another day.
That's
the
me with
game.
SGA, mate. I think I sold it. I sold it the first year he did well, and
That's the
then the next
game,
year
man.
went on to be MVP and
Yeah,
win
but
the
it just
league.
hurts a lot more when you
Bloody oath.
yeah.
No, that's the game. That's pretty much it in terms of the State of the Union. Any topics from us, unless you have anything you want to talk about, Dan, yourself?
Not that I can think of.
Saucy, anything else you
No,
wish to
not
change?
really. I think, you know, I'll end my last statement on this. I think we're in a bizarre time in the hobby, where we're getting a large influx of new people, and a large influx of people that had gone away, had come in, gone away, and now are back. Partly for the fact of seeing the Logan Paul sale, watching Golden Touch on Netflix, and so they're back in the hobby. And I think it's important for us people that have never left to teach them the right way, and show them, you know, it's like, you know, one of Dom's good friends, he's, you know, been messaging me, and, you know, I said to him, you know, like, straight up, like, if you want to enjoy opening boxes, whatever your hobby allowance is, set an amount that you want to spend each week, or excess money you've got. And if you want to open boxes, I honestly would be putting maximum 20% towards boxes and 80% towards singles, maybe even 90-10 split. You know, you got someone, you know, you got people with integrity in the hobby like Doma and I, who are actually breaking boxes for people, telling people that that's what you should be doing. But you've got other sort of snakes in the hobby who say, nah, just go in breaks, just go in breaks.
Yeah, you see
And
all the
especially
time,
if they're a breaker, they, you know, you're a scumbag, man. Straight out. You're a scumbag. Like, they're not going to build a good collection doing that.
Well, people forget
That's
you
just
could,
the
like,
facts.
if you want to be successful business long term, you look after your customers, right? Like,
That's right.
if you look after your customers, they're going to come back to you time and time again. But so many people forget that.
They definitely do. Saucy, you got any questions for Dan in terms of his recent pickups? Do you wanna? Is there
Yeah,
anything?
what would be your best or your most favorite pickup sort of in the last 12 months that you've held on to? I know you
I've got
told me you
3 here.
sold a few cards, but
I sold a lot recently just because I got bored, right? I sold. I picked up this more than 12 months ago, so I'll quickly show this one. So this is the Frank Lampard sold the game.
That's
oh
nice.
yeah.
That's sick.
I had an Andrea Pirlo of this as well, PSA 8, but I sold it because the guy reached out to me on Instagram. Is like, hey, are you going to sell this card? And he gave me a number that was just way too good to turn down. I basically made 3 times what I paid for it, and I regret selling it, but you know, it is what it is. But I picked this up recently.
Oh,
That's
Which is
nice.
a Larry Bird from it's first year eminence, so it is match worn on card auto, and it's one of the cleaner autographs. I got this for really cheap actually from a dude in Greece. I was hounding him for offers for a long time, and eventually he just accepted, and it is a pretty cool one. I picked up this like a week later. So these were all purchased like late last year. So this Fabio Cannavaro
It's
from
nice.
First Year Soccer Eminence. It's got the diamond in there, and then the autograph's not the best. You can see there it's got a bit of a smudge.
Yeah,
But the thing I like about
still,
this is that it says 2006 World Cup around the diamond, which I thought was
yeah,
pretty cool.
okay,
Obviously, he
nice.
captained to Italy to World Cup. He won the Ballon d'Or that year, which is pretty cool for the PC. And then I picked up this last week actually, really rare Dragon Ball Z on card auto pack pulled. So it's obviously by the voice actor of Vegeta.
Yeah,
So
Chris Saban.
What set is that from?
it's from Hero
Is it
Collection.
Saban or Chris Sabat?
Sabat.
Sabat, sorry.
Saban is the people that used to make Power Rangers, I think, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, Chris Sabat.
You can see over there, 1994, made in Japan. So Hero Collection was like a set they did in Japan in 94, and then in the US, they re-released them, but they made some hobby boxes for that, so they put pack-pulled autographs in them. And that was why this was one of them, essentially. And you can see there the
Well,
little gold foil.
we're gonna get pack pulled Veronica's with Ash Ketchum. If I'm not sure if you've seen that, Dan, that she's been signing autographs, so
Oh, really?
stickers
No.
and things of that nature. So I'm interested to see where that goes.
It'll go in a 30th anniversary type box or something that you
Yeah,
can hit the
yeah.
auto.
So I think that would be pretty cool. I think that adds another level to the TCG, and I would like that to be potentially something that they go down the road and go into. To be honest,
Well, they need to do that. They need to do something right to actually bring some scarcity. Well, let me share my screen quickly.
Yeah, it should.
I can show you. Let me see if I can share. Share screen. Oh, what do I want to share? Make sure I don't share the wrong things. See which tab I've got open. I've got it in the background. Can you see it?
yep.
Yeah, there it is.
So this is this website that I use that shows like all these different Dragon Ball sets over the years, but these were the other autographs that you could get from the same set. So the voice
yeah.
actor Goten, Trunks, Gohan, and Goku. I've seen this one
Give it-
sell before. It sold for a lot of money. I got this for like, I think it was the seller was based in Melbourne, I think, or no, based in New South Wales. They had it for like $350. I had a $40 eBay coupon, and then I had like a $150 gift card through work. So I essentially got it for free because I seen an offer of $200 or whatever it was. But these are pretty rare. Like I said, they were in the hobby boxes. We don't actually know what the print runs were for these.
What's the website you're using, just for people out there?
It's dbzcollection.fr. So it's like a French website. Dragon Ball Z is like huge in France, and they've like catalogued all these different sets over the years. So
It looks pretty intense. So that's what I was saying to people. Let people
there's
know.
other like autographs they released in other Hero Collection sets in the US. I've owned them previously. I had a dual signed Vegito, but they are a lot more common. They're serial numbered. I think each autograph is out of like 500 or something. But there's a lot of different sets out there that you can go look at. It's a really good website, so check it out. But that's probably the one of the cooler pickers I've made. I'm going to send it to PSA. It's probably a good chance of getting a 9 or a 10, to be honest.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. And I mean, I think I'm gonna have to put. I think Del Piero would have to be my favorite ever Italy player. So I think that could be my biggest pickup of the year. I might be going chasing a Del Piero on card.
Yeah, would it be
got
Dynasty?
myself a Thierry Henry. Got myself Thierry Henry on card last year to add to the PC. So I think maybe Del Piero is in my sights this year.
Yeah, I want to try and get more from Eminence, First Year Eminence. So Totti has one in there. Obviously Baggio's got one in there as well. They'd be nice to get, but they're really expensive. So I'm not a fan of Dynasty, and I really regret selling that PLO. I need to find another one, but he offered me too much money, like way too much to turn down.
I'm gonna have to look for an Inzaghi auto.
He's got some. I think he's got some in. I think he's got some in Mosaic, the Euro Mosaic set. I think in this set, or it might be Gilardino.
I think he's quite affordable in Zagi.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
It's
lot
not
of them
too
are
expensive.
because
It's not too expensive.
these pumpkins in America don't know a lot about foreign players aside from like the select few.
They'll pay more for a Pulisic than a Del Piero, which is
Yeah,
just
there was
mind-boggling for me.
the Sunday League Investors guy. There was like a national video that he did like 4 years ago, and he was trying to buy Kabooms, and I think he was selling a Van Persie Kaboom or looking to trade it. And the guy at the table that had all these other soccer cards, all these high-end soccer cards, he's like, "Oh, I only want good players," and I'm like, "Mate, like Van Persie's star.
only
Like,
one who plays.
and I'm pretty sure the kaboom was the
Yeah.
diving header that he scored against Spain. I'm pretty sure
Ah.
that was the image. So like iconic. Like Van Persie's, he's got a solid game card. I've been looking to buy one, even though I'm a Chelsea guy. He's a phenomenal player. I loved watching him play.
Bloody oath. And it was a joy to take him from Saucy's
Yeah,
Gunners.
Thanks
and
for
dominate
reminding me. He was my
United.
favourite player, and he left for Man
Took the
United.
piss
So
at United too, right?
He took the absolute
well,
piss.
it just showed that when
Dominated.
you put him with a team that could actually deliver him service, he could win you a title. Like, he had 22 goals in the Prem that season. He was like over 20 goals, scored some absolute belters as well.
The volley that he scored.
The volley over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He was so good on the ball, so technical. Just interesting that both him and Fabregas went to like crazy new levels when they came back to the Premier League or changed teams, right?
Yeah.
Fabregas,
Rubber
baller at Chelsea.
It's all right. We're winning it this season, Dan.
I don't know
It's
about
all right.
that. What's the lead? 4 points?
It's not over yet.
We're winning it. All right. Don't. I'm not taking anything else. I'm putting it in the ether. It's happening. I'm manifesting it like I manifested my Jokic pull out from Tyson
the only
Beck.
thing I want to say,
night.
like, if Arsenal win it, the only way I'll be okay with that is if Tottenham get relegated. Because that'd be like,
Saucy said the same thing
it'd
on
be so
the
good
pod
because
this week.
Tottenham fans
Say
would
that.
never come back. They might as well demolish the stadium.
I just think it's crazy that they still think that they sacked Ange Postecoglou. Like, just crazy. They sacked him, and look, they're worse off than
what they
last
get.
season.
Good, fuck them. It's what they get. Like, it's what they get. He's like, we're now Aussie Ange. We're all for Aussie Ange.
I'm all for Aussie Ange. I was a bit critical of him earlier and towards the end of last year.
I genuinely think if you put him in a team where he's got good talent, his football will hold up because you've got the top technical players that can play his type of football.
My only thing was my only criticism of him was I didn't say ever that he was a terrible manager. I just said that he was probably still a bit too raw to go straight into the Premier League at a top club. So I thought that he probably should have just did a bit of time maybe in Italy or Germany before coming in. That was my only thing. It was nothing that he's a shit coach or anything like that. I just thought, I don't know.
We're just
Pushed Australia to their only ever national cup. I don't know what more you can want from the bloke.
No, I'm just saying like international football is a bit different. So international in terms of like domestic international football. Yeah. I just thought the leap from where he was to the Premier League, it's the most difficult league on the planet. It's the best quality football on the planet. It's got the strongest teams in the world. I
wonder what he's going to do next, to be honest.
Coach Man United.
Possibility.
Imagine he won a title at United. I'd have to just suck eggs and I'd be happy, mate. Honestly, I'd be really happy if he got like the United job. And if he did get a job like United, if the guys actually put in like they're putting in for Carrick, his style of play and his coaching would probably work with our players.
Maybe that guy will finally get to shave his head if I can Postecoglou's a coach.
That guy, the United strand, is never shaving his head. United's good enough to win 4 straight consistently, never a 5th.
Yeah.
It'd be 4 wins, draw, 4 wins, draw, or 4 wins, loss. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Anyway, that's pretty much it from us. Once again, man, it's so good to see you, and we're so happy that you jumped on. And obviously, we'll try and do this a little bit more regularly, and we'll definitely stay in touch. So, yeah, any final words from the great Dan the Card Man?
No. Just thanks for having me. Always happy to come back. So let's try and get it in the books.
Thank you. And maybe we might see if we can somehow conjure up a round table. We've got to try and find the 4th member of the group. I don't know where he's gone. He's just...
Is he going MIA?
Oh, he's still in the hobby. He's popped his reared his head up.
I saw something. He sold like a really expensive card the other day, right?
Yeah. I don't know. He says he hates the hobby. He's out of the hobby, but he's got a love-hate relationship.
Hostage.
Maybe. Maybe
Well,
he's
it's
been
because
posted.
you know why he's hiding, because he's the only one who knows where Juanito is.
The FBI is
You know
probably
what?
chasing him. He's probably on the lam. He's on the
On
run.
that on that note, keep living, loving, and breathing sports. It's double coverage. Sports and cards. It's double coverage. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce and Dan the Card Man. Peace out.
Catch up. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all spots. Double curve.